Today I'm going to show you how to do the dumbbell row effectively, safely, and correctly. This is an exercise that's in a lot of programs and you want to make sure you're doing it right. Now to start off, what position should you be getting in? We're going to go over the 3-point stance because I think it's the best position to be in when you're not 100% sure on how to do a row. Okay, it's a great beginner place to be. Now the 3-point stance, you're going to have your knee on the bench to start, okay? And then you're going to put your hand down here and your leg back here. Keep it nice and straight. You can bend a little bit. That's not a big issue. Usually I see people get straight and it kind of cleans up a lot of things. So if you can, try to get straight with that guy, all right? And now we're going to grab our dumbbell, okay? I like to bend my knee as I grab my dumbbell. Now first thing to talk about is position. After you get set up, what position should you be in? So big thing is where your hip's at, right? So we don't want it here and we don't want it too far forward. Now, me personally, I go way too far forward on most of my exercises because I live in what we call extension. Now you could be here, you could be all the way down here, I'm not sure. So that's the problem with YouTube, right? I can't check this out individually. So I'm going to challenge you, after you watch this video, go do a row, take a video of it and send it to me, and I promise no matter how many I get, I will correct every single video and give you some tips for your row variation. Now, back to the row. Once we get our hip in line, and what I mean by that is let's find a difference between here and here, right? Those are our extremes. So let's go about here, okay? So we got a little bit of a curve, but we're not super down like that, okay? So once you got that, lock that in. You should feel your core light up a little bit when you do that. That's good. Second step, push away from the bench, okay? And make sure we don't lose this, all right? From there, once we have our dumbbell in our hand, we're gonna reach a little bit with the dumbbell to the floor. Just a little bit of a reach, keep pushing away, all right? At that point, you're coming up here and coming back down. Now some big issues when you're coming up with the dumbbell. I see a lot of elbows going astray, and I mean they're hiking up too high. And what that does, you can see my shoulder here, it's dumping forward, and we don't want to see that. We want to really work your scapula, your shoulder blade, okay? So we want to make sure you're getting that activation and you're not feeling it in the front of your shoulder. If you're feeling it in the front of your shoulder, you're doing it wrong, okay? That's one. Second thing is when we're in this position, it's really easy to just come down and come right back up. Make sure you get that reach, okay? And that reach is going to turn on your serratus, and we really want that. I'm not going to go into why we want that in this video, but it's a really good thing for your posture and position, okay? And it's an underactive muscle for most people. So once we get that reach, right, and we're coming back up, how do we get it up there? Well, we don't shrug, right? We don't want to get that neck pinched. So from there, we really try to use that shoulder blade more than our elbow to pull up, okay? And we don't go too far. Again, all right? See that? Perfect. And we're coming back up and back down. Up and back down. Reach a little bit. Now, from there, the next thing we want to look at is where the neck is, okay? And you could probably see my neck wasn't in a great position. I did it on purpose. So, from here, we're going to be tucking into a double chin, and then pretend like there's a string attached to your head, and it's pulling you a little bit forward, okay? So, double chin, pull a little forward, and now we're looking down. We're not killing the neck either, though. We're not crunching. We're tucking it back a little bit. So, with the tuck, what does that look like? About here, and we're coming up. And you notice the neck stays there the whole time. Now, if that's not to get you started, let's add a breath. And what I mean by that is when you're starting, I want you to take a big breath in and then exhale. And you're going to notice we get a little more of a reach there. And what that's doing is really turning on your core more and also getting a normal curve in your upper back. Because a lot of us are a little too flat like this, and we don't want to be too flat when we're rowing. Why is that? It's because of your rib cage and how the shoulder sits on your rib cage. I'm going to go into this real quick on a really short video so you can see what I'm talking about. This is huge. You need to understand these things. All right, so we have Mr. Bones here. You can see this is his rib cage, right? And it's kind of turning around the corner through the back there. And you can see it's kind of a circular shape, right? Well, that makes a big difference, right? So here's our shoulder blade, right? And it sits along that rib cage. So let me add some muscles on here and we'll get the infraspinatus going. So what happens is when we're reaching in that row, we reach forwards like that and it slides and glides along. Now that's not part of the row, but you can see how it still slides and glides along that rib cage. Now if you have a super flat back,
or you're not reaching enough in your row, that's going to change the position of your scapula, aka your shoulder blade. So now you can see why that is so important when you're rowing.
Now that you understand why the shoulder should wrap around the rib cage and why that is so important with a breath, let's go on to one more piece. The last and final one I see all the time when I'm going into big gyms is momentum. Way too much momentum. You got Joe Schmo over here, sorry Joe, and we're using that momentum to get that weight up, right? And he probably breathes really loud too, right? So you want to really control this and then hold at the top for a second. So what I mean by that is get in your position, row it up, 1/1000, back down, reach a little bit. 1/1000, back down, reach a little bit, okay? And we're not jerky and using that momentum too much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it really helped you get a much better understanding of why you're rowing and how to do it. Now, like I said, please send me as many videos as you can on how to do your row, because I want to see you doing your row, and I'll type back and give you some help on how to really fix that technique and get the biggest bang for this exercise. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you want more videos like this, please let me know down at below, the bottom there. And make sure you let me know too if there's some things I can improve on. If you weren't sure, or if I talk too fast, or if you want me to follow up with another video on to double check on a different way to do this. This was the 3-point stance row. There's other ways to do a row, but this is a great place to start.